Welcome back into Talking Fitchburg. Joining me today is Deputy Chief Jeff Doselek from FitchRona EMS.
Good morning.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
We're at afternoon time now.
That's right. I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. I say good morning all the time, so it's the way it goes on. Jeff, today you're here. We've got two good topics to talk about. First, a quick update on the dementia. It's like your beginning stages of community EMS, essentially, with the dementia program. Let's hear it.
Correct. So, as you know, we started a pilot with Alzheimer's Institute of Wisconsin and the UW. We finished the training with that. The 4 paramedics that went through the training did motivational interviewing, kind of a Dementia 101 program, and now we're ready to start taking patients into the study. So what we're asking the community is, if you know someone that has early onset of Alzheimer's or dementia or mid onset of that, to contact your senior center. So contact the senior center here in Fitchburg and in Verona. They would do the same, and the case managers there will filter through those patients to make sure that they meet the qualifications of the study. The qualifications include the person living alone and that they have the disease process. And then what we'll do is we'll send our paramedics out to start doing some interviewing with them to see what kind of services we would be able to offer them. Most of the time they're getting some services, but there are cases out there where patients are not getting services at all, and our job is to offer them services. And then at some point when we can no longer be of benefit to them, then we'll refer them back to the senior center for a case manager to continue the follow-up with them. So we're ready to start taking patients into the study. Contact the senior centers and they will start pre-screening, so to speak, those patients.
Yeah, and this is a great start for what the community EMS process that's going on right now in the state and kind of getting launched off. And it'd be nice that these guys can make the connection. You, the paramedics, can come out, make that connection, and it's more than just picking up the phone and dialing 911. Correct. It's preventable care, if you will. So
correct. Our job is to take care of the community. It's and doing 911 calls. Obviously, that's the main reason that we're here. But there's other things that we can provide, and I think that our philosophy with the community paramedic program is to reach out to community members that may be of need of something. This is a good start for us, and obviously as that program progresses, we'll start to look at other things, and as funding gets better for community paramedicine throughout the state, there's other things that we can look at as well. But we feel that this is a really good place to start, and we're looking forward to benefiting those patients in our community that have Alzheimer's and dementia.
And I should say too that you are doing blood pressure checks and other things as well. So as this study continues on, and that's one area, you're still helping out the community in other ways with senior centers. Right.
So our senior center, we do blood pressures and blood glucose screenings the 4th Monday of the month at each of the centers. So we start in Verona, and we do that in the morning on that Monday, and then we come here to Fitchburg and we do an hour and a half or so here in Fitchburg. And what I've asked the paramedics that are doing those screenings for us is to write down if they have any information that they think would benefit that person outside of just a blood pressure screening. We'll put that person into we bought a community paramedic module for our elite program. We'll put that person in there as well, and that way, as we start to expand our program, we can reach out to those community members that may need of assistance. If they're coming to the senior center, they're getting lots of services, which is great. But at times I think that there's other things that we can provide, and that maybe the senior centers might be beyond what they're able to do, or I think it's important that we have those information as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm excited about this. Community EMS is a huge upcoming, and it shouldn't be that it's upcoming, but in Wisconsin, we're really grasping onto it. So it's exciting. So looking forward to hearing more about that. Other topic we want to talk about this today, I almost said this morning, there you go. I told you I would, is do not resuscitate. Correct. And the DNR law here in Wisconsin. A very important one, especially in that critical time frame if there is an emergency. emergency.
Right. So the reason this came up for me and the reason I thought it would be a good topic to talk about is that I received a phone call from a patient's family member who had concerns about do not resuscitate and how we would handle that out in the field. And it always seems to be a topic of discussion when that moment is there where we need to decide as paramedics, should we resuscitate or should we not resuscitate? So I thought it would be just a good time to just at least cover the basics of that so that community members know that if somebody has a do not resuscitate bracelet on or they have do not resuscitate paperwork, that our paramedics will not resuscitate. We want to respect the wishes of the patient, and our hope is that in giving this information out today, that those patients can have discussions with their family members up front so that there really isn't any, decision to be made at the time.
Yeah, it's running EMS. I can understand from both sides. Again, it's that critical moment that's it's hard to be making any decision at a critical moment. So having the conversation up front is important, and it's a process here. We've got some graphics that we're going to go through, but just in general, what do patients or any family members need to do to sign up for the DNR? Law, bracelet,
sure.
Yeah, however you want to say it.
So the first thing to do is obviously have those conversations with your loved ones so they all understand what the process is going to be in the event that you go into cardiac or respiratory arrest. And then secondly, to contact your physician. So it's important that a physician is involved in that discussion. Your primary care physician will have conversations with you about do not resuscitate, what exactly it means for the pre-hospital provider, what it also means for, what happens in the hospital or at the doctor's office or whatever. And then to apply for or request a bracelet. And it really is, at least for us, we'd like to have a bracelet on or, something that says this is a do not resuscitate. You can specify in your do not resuscitate what you would like done. So some patients will say, I don't want anything done. If you look at my mom's like, I don't want you to do anything for me. Others will say, I want you to do CPR and, basic airway maneuvers, but do not give me any drugs. So you can be specific when it comes to that. But the most important thing to do is just to make sure that you have the bracelet, that you've had the conversation, and that you wear the bracelet. So the only way that a do not resuscitate order can be rescinded is if the person that is your power of healthcare provider and is there and cuts the bracelet off and says, now I want you to do everything. And hopefully that doesn't happen because that's probably not the wishes of you, and that's why you've done what you've done.
Yeah, and again, there is more information out there about the DNR, the law, the applications out there, so you can kind of review over this. And again, choosing between the bracelet that's offered out there, there's one that is offered, and they actually have links to it. But keeping the paperwork near the bracelet,
yeah, absolutely.
Especially if you know things are declining. Yes, there are rapid times when you can't really predict that, but either way, keeping both of those close, and because that is when you guys walk through the door.
Right.
That's the question that
it's one of the first questions we ask is does the patient have a do not resuscitate? We call it advanced directive. And where we run into problems as providers out in the field is those discussions have not happened with their family members, or they've only happened with one family member and the son says yes and the daughter says don't do anything, and pretty soon now we've got a family feud on what we should do at a time when we should be concentrating on taking care of the patient. And if there's any question at all, we're going to start resuscitative measures until we know for sure. And, we don't really transport a lot of cardiac arrest patients in this area very much anymore because we're able to do those things that they can do in the hospital. We'll call medical control. We'll go through the process and we'll let the medical control decide what we should do. But to have that paperwork handy, we have File for Life that we hand out during our blood pressure clinics. If you'd like a File for Life card that has all that information in it, give me a call, 497-2951 down in Verona. We'll bring one up to you. We'll help you fill it out. We'll help you put those papers together, so at a time when we need to make a decision, it's all together for us.
Yeah, absolutely. And I also would say, too, that EMS side of things, they have protocols in place.
Correct.
They're very strict on this, so there is no argument. It's pretty straightforward.
Right.
You know, have these items together and ready to go, because you have to stick to those orders.
Right. Our main focus is to make sure that the patient's wishes are handled appropriately as they wished, and that's why they've put together a DNR in the first place. And if everyone's gathered around and every single person says, I want you to do everything you can, and we have the paperwork that says no, we follow the paperwork that says no, and we look through our protocols to make sure we're following those, and that's how we handle it. So it's best to have those discussions right up front with your family members before you even sign the paperwork.
Absolutely. All right, that's Jeff Doslick from FitchRona EMS. Certainly, as you said, give him a call if you have any questions regarding the Do Not Resuscitate, as you know this law in and out.
Absolutely.
As it goes. So, and there is, for more information, too, if you want to see the law and or have any questions, you can contact Department of Health as well. All right.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
You bet.
All right, we'll take a quick break, wrap it up next. It is Talking Fitchburg.